All right, everybody, this will be Warning to all politicians. I'm running for president 2024, part 125A, I believe. So, kind of touched on some things earlier. About, instead of all this welfare and everything, you turn 21, you get a check for 50 grand. Whatever. We reform the tax code, so you're only paying taxes between the age of 24, federal income taxes anyway, between the age of 24 and 64, something like that. Maybe we offer medical coverage to everybody till they're 18 or 21, and then after that, they're on their own. I spoke before about doing things to bring down the cost, and spoke a little bit about immigration and stuff and everything, so I wanted to go into that too, that, as far as getting these checks, when you turn 21, you would have to go in person, bring proof, your birth certificate and everything, photo ID, and you're going to have to give a thumbprint, because we're not going to give up, and we're not going to end up having people scamming the system, and you're going to have your social security number, everything. And same with like driver's license, everything, do that all digital, thumbprint. Same with immigration. You come in the country, you're getting thumbprinted, and whatever kind of ID you get, and we're gonna cut out this crap. You just come here and have a baby, and that justifies, qualifies as being a citizen, because that's not what that clause is meant for in the code, or I'm not exactly sure if that's in the Constitution or that was added later in amendment. That would make it in the Constitution, but so it has to be in there as an amendment. That was so that slaves couldn't be deported. They were born here. That's all it was meant for. It wasn't meant for everybody. Every Tom, Dick, and Harry that found their way to America was automatically a citizen. Or if they're, the parents came here and didn't come here legally or whatever, and they were born here, and made them a citizen. No. So we're gonna make it clear in the immigration code. The only way you're a citizen is if you're born here, is if one of your parents has gone through the immigration system and is a legal citizen, or your parents, were legally born here. Suppose you come to this country as an immigrant, say you're 18, even if you come in legally, you're not getting $50,000. People are born here. Your child or whatever, when they reach 21, they'll get the $50,000. We're not going to have a bunch of people just moving to the U.S. or trying to get into the U.S. and become citizens just so they can collect their $50,000 check. It's going to be for U.S. citizens. And also, if you come to this nation as an immigrant, you're going to take a pledge never to burn the United States flag or trample it on the ground. Or like at these, you saw these Trump rallies, you saw people being attacked, and they were waving the American flag, and people trying to take the flag away from them. You burn the flag, you burn an effigy of the president, you trample the flag, anything like that, it's automatically, you're going to get a fine and a year in prison. Automatically. And here's the reasoning behind that. I know people are going to scream, well, it's free speech and all this, and we've been sold all that bullshit. All right, you can't yell fire in a theater and all this. You can't do things to incite violence or hysteria or rioting or anything like that. When you're in this country, I can't imagine going to another country and being a guest in that country and burning their flag or trampling it. I just can't. Being that disrespectful. And even if you're a citizen and everything, you can't. you're causing hatred on either racial levels, or you're causing hatred on nationalism, and you're inciting people to violence when you do things like that. And so that can't be allowed. You want to have free speech or whatever, go have a debate somewhere, go call a press conference. Burning the flag and trampling the flag does not qualify as free speech. I'm sorry. Just like they passed all the pornography shit and everything. Well, that's freedom of speech and freedom of expression and all this. It is a bunch of garbage. From now on, all American flags, the flagpoles, anything to do with it will be made in America. Even the raw materials, the cotton or whatever you make the flag out of, will have to be grown in America. The metals for the flagpoles have to come from America. All military uniforms, everything, will be made in America with American materials. You're not going to farm it out to countries who could possibly be our enemies anymore. So if you come to this country, you're going to have some respect for this country. You're not going to burn our flag and trample it in the streets, while you wave your former nation's flag. Or if you're here illegally, you're waving your current nation's flag. Like if you're here illegally from Mexico and you're waving the Mexican flag, that's your nation's flag. You're not going to trample our flag and wave a foreign nation's flag. I can understand, you own a restaurant or something, you got your heritage, you put your flag up on the wall or something, but these displays in public of trying to exalt your nation over this nation while you're here reaping the benefits of this nation, that shit's going to stop, because it incites hatred, and it's going to stop. And when we're talking about inciting hatred and justice, Anthony Brian Logan, if you haven't seen him on YouTube, does quite a good job of bringing up issues and covering things that you won't see covered in the press. He recently put something on. I don't know where he got it from, or if it was the university who did it, or BLM or whoever. But they questioned 100 black people supposedly. Some of them didn't even look black, but like ABL put it, maybe they're self-identifying. But what are white people superior at? Now, the whole premise of that, right from the get-go of that, is like, what? What the hell? What kind of answers do you think you're going to get from people anyway? And we don't say we're superior. A very small minority of white people might think that way. The average white person doesn't think they're superior to anybody. So they asked these people this question, and the answers, they were getting, they're superior at their smelling, they stink. They're superior at lying. They're superior at cheating. They're superior at everything under the sun, eating mayonnaise, all kinds of stuff. It was as racist as could be. If you put a program like that, or you made a program like that with white people being asked a question like that about black people, and they started saying, they stink and they lie and they steal and they cheat and everything, it'd be deemed racist. Whoever produced it, whatever, would be ostracized. But you got this double standard going on now. It's open season on white people. You can say or do whatever you want to white people. And it doesn't matter. If the white people stand up to you or whatever, well then the law enforcement and the judges and stuff, automatically the white person's a racist. That bullshit has to stop. We're guaranteed equal justice under the law. These people, these judges, you're supposed to judge on the law, not with your liberal agenda or your liberal beliefs. If you're going to say, if one group does something, it's racist, as if white people say or do things about black people, it's racist, then when those black people do the same things towards what, you got to call that as racist too. Do you understand that? If you want peace and harmony in this country, that's the only way it's going to work. Do you understand? You know, and you know, you got you had the BLM and everything going out making people take a knee and apologize for the whiteness and all that shit. That's bullshit. That's racism. I'll tell you what, you find all the people that were in LA 92, all the black people who went out and rioted and committed arson and killed people in the streets and stuff, and you go find the victims, and you have all those black people, you have them go take a knee and apologize for what they did in 92. Then you round up all these fuckers that did all this shit this past summer, and you find them, and you go have them take a knee and apologize for what they did. You're asking one group just to apologize for the color of their skin and some imagined privilege. And I'm telling you, the smarter thing to be would find people who committed acts, criminal or violent acts. You know, that's your backward thinking. And we're going to go after these people who haven't done nothing. But all the people that are criminals, and we're going to give them free pass. We're going to feel sorry for them. It's backwards. You want racial harmony, you want peace and everything, then everyone's got to be on the same page. You know, most white people, you know, like myself, you know, somebody's dealing drugs or something like that, gets into it with the cops, something happens to them, I ain't upset about it. I ain't crying about it. I ain't going to go take the streets and say, hey, but it's a really weird thing when it's a minority that happens to. It's like, you know, it can be the most heinous person around, and all of a sudden they're out in the streets protesting for that person. What is the matter with your minds? So like I say, my campaign will be based on making it attractive to do what's right in this country, to come to this country legally, and all these other things. And to make coming here illegally very unattractive, and to live in a criminal life in this country very unattractive. You know, they have been destroying the family, destroying just things like faith in God, just, you know, normal things like heterosexuality. You know, that's not normal no more. It's all this transgender stuff, and you're not a boy or you're a girl or whatever, you know, and their socialism. Can we look forward to in the future a bunch of screwed up alphabet people and homosexuals and lesbians running around in Nazi type uniforms or Soviet type uniforms, hunting people down, normal people down who believe in God and have a heterosexual marriage? Is that what it's coming to? It's sure looking that way. Is that some bizarre, you know, alternate universe future? Orwellian, beyond Orwellian type future? You know, throwing the drugs, you're gonna have this, you know, all the government and all the party people are gonna be, you know, the socialist or communist party, all drenched with drugs and practicing homosexuality and all kinds of other shit, and hunting down normal people. What has been normal for 10,000 years in human existence. Heterosexual relationships and marriage and family and faith, no matter what faith that is. Is that your reset? You want some kind of alternate universe where everything's upside down and backwards? Because that seems like where it's going, and more people in this country need to wake up and say, not on our watch, buddy. You ain't doing all this crap. You're not going to overturn the founding documents of this country and the pillars of this country, you know, and change it to what you want. Oh, but it's a democracy. If enough people want it. No, that ain't how it works. We're a constitutional republic. And you got a lot of foreign people coming here, especially from, you know, Latin America and stuff and everything, who think this way. That, well, we can change it. It's democracy. No, sorry. You've been taught wrong. The founding principles are why this nation was started, the pillars of this nation, and why people have gone to war and defended this nation. You're not going to come in and tell us, oh, what you've been doing is wrong. We're going to change everything. The hell you are. The hell you are. We will send you back to where you came from and wipe you off the map. And every nation on the face of the earth has the right to say that and defend themselves. Their own sovereignty. We should all nations, no matter what it is, we should try and get along better and not go to wars and everything like that, and have some common things, money and stuff, and where there's equality and things like this. But we shouldn't be going in and trying to homogenize everything into some, especially some ass backwards alternate way of life. If you want to do that, go find an island somewhere. There's your dystopia. Go find an island somewhere. You got Soros. I think he owns some islands. You all go make that your nation. And you set up your cockamamie ass backwards society that you want there. You're not going to try and force or con job this nation into going down the path that you want just because you think it's right, because you're stupid. Enough is enough. More and more people and then looking at what's going on with this election and everything, and people blowing it off, the news media blowing it off and not even being concerned if there was fraud. That's the main concern. Trump even said in his own thing, hey, if it comes out where it was fair and everything and he wins, so be it. That's the way it is. But it doesn't look like that's the way it went down, and I got to agree with him. Joe Biden gets, 80 million votes, gets more than anybody in history. Joe Nobody Biden, who didn't even campaign, who most of the nation saw as being senile or something wrong with him. You got to be kidding me. And whether it's coming from just in this country or there's external forces and stuff, there's got to be complete investigations, and people's feet got to be held to the fire. And if it's clearly shown that there was criminal activity and trying to you got to try him for treason. You can say this ain't going to happen no more. And if they flee to other countries, you got to go get them. And just the same, if other countries were involved in it and supporting it or funding it, had anything to do with it, you got to hold their feet to fire too. And that means sending a cruise missile up their ass. That's what you got to do. So they know you ain't doing this no more. Some people say, well, America gets involved in, hey, I hear you. I don't think we should be involved in other people's domestic affairs. Not unless there's something, really heinous going on, like Hitler throwing people in ovens and crap, and, there's something like that going on, yeah. Or if there's a civil war that we try and instill peace and stop the bloodshed. But, and even that you do, on a standoffish type thing, you don't go get involved in their war or take sides. You just call for a truce for everybody and sit down and get people to the table. But this nation in the founding documents and the principles and the pillars this nation was built on, and people that have fought and died for all of that and everything. For the news media just to, oh, it's just Trump. He's a sore loser. He's this and that or whatever. You know, when it's clearly been shown, there's affidavits and there's people and there's valid evidence of these machines that were used that, you know, have been used in phony elections before. And there's all these anomalies. And for the news media to blow it off, oh, it's just Trump. He's a sore loser. He doesn't want to admit. You know, one reporter asked him, you know, will you leave the White House? You know, and it's like, really? That's the only questions you have. Why aren't you out questioning? Why aren't you doing some investigating journalism? You know, you probably get a grant and everything, went to journalism school, who knows where, got your degree in that or whatever, and you don't really do any journalism. They didn't teach you how to do it. They just gave you a piece of paper. Why don't you go dig into it and look into it and present the facts and the data instead of your political views when you write your columns, you know, or your leanings to slanting everything towards just your beliefs. You're a journalist. It ain't all about you. You're supposed to be independent. You're not supposed to write things just to bolster your views or what you're emotional about. Because if you don't stay independent and everything, then you're abusing your constitution. You're abusing the constitutional right of freedom of the press. What do they call it? The fifth estate or something? You know, you're supposed to be the alarm. You know, when there's something wrong. You're supposed to call out crookedness and this and that. You're not supposed to sweep it under the rug just because it fits your political views or your beliefs. Because if it's not independent, if you don't present the facts and the data and everything, then it just might as well. It's either going to be corporate slanted news, or like state-run news. And that's not why you have your constitutional right of a free press, is to align the press with a political party or the state or corporate beliefs or personal beliefs. You're supposed to tell it like it is. All right, I'll let y'all go on that one. Hope you all had a good Thanksgiving and didn't have the stormtroopers come to your door because you know, you had too many relatives over or something. So wish you all the best out there. Be careful driving. Will be a lot of traffic and traveling this weekend. Take care. God bless. We'll see you on the next one. Adios.